Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, hi. I'm currently on a 6-month no-buy, so the current focus of my YouTube channel is to really love and appreciate my makeup collection as it currently is. And a lot of what I'm currently doing is looking at my collection very critically and deciding what should stay, what should go, what do I really want my collection to look like. If you clicked on this video, you already know what we're going to talk about today. It's the Lethal is Dead palette, which is a collaboration from Theresa is Dead and Lethal Cosmetics. They partnered up. I'm a big Theresa is Dead fan. I really wanted to support her by buying this palette. And another reason I wanted to buy this palette is because I really wanted to try out the Lethal Cosmetics formula. So it's kind of like a match made in heaven, but it also was the last thing I bought before I started my no-buy. So let's talk about it. Was it worth it for me? Now, this isn't really going to be like a review of the palette, more just like, I mean, I guess it is a review, but I'm not doing something very in-depth. We're just going to like talk about it, discuss it. So a couple of things. Yesterday, I recorded 4 videos and there was just no audio on any of them. I'm not really sure what happened. So I'm going to keep looking down at my computer to make sure that things are recording. But I did record a tutorial of a look similar to this using the Theresa's Dead palette. That's going to be at the end of the video. And I'm also have some swatch footage for you if you want to see some swatches. That will all be on the timeline down below if you just want to click to those specific areas. But up front, I'm going to be talking about the palette for me. We're going to review it, I guess. I don't really want to, I don't want to call it a review. Also, if you aren't new here, what do we think of this lighting? Not this lighting, like this lighting, I think we got a handle on, but like, what about that? Do we like it? Should I be backlit? I mean, I bought them, so it's like gonna happen. Anyway, let's talk about the palette. This is it right here if you haven't seen it. This was a limited edition, limited run. It had an original stock and then a restock, and I don't think that there are any more of these to purchase. If you haven't seen it before, this is what it looks like on the inside. We have 9 shades, 3 shimmers, and 6 mattes. Again, I bought this because I love Theresa, and Theresa often really speaks highly of Lethal Cosmetics eyeshadow formula. Lethal has done a couple color stories and palettes that I've been like intrigued by. So I really did think this was a 2 birds, 1 stone situation, not to be confused with Trixie Mattel. If I were to turn back time, so being on a 6-month no-buy definitely makes me look at things critically, if I'm going back, whenever this palette was announced, I should have looked at it and had known at that time that this was not a color story that was going to really speak to me in such a way that I was going to that it was going to be a palette that I wanted to pick up and use a lot. And there's a number of reasons for that. And it's not that I think this color story is ugly. I think Theresa did a really good job. I love the names of the shadows. They're all horror film themed. So, you know, we have Predator, Creature Feature, Vengeful Spirit. So that's kind of the vibe of what we're doing here. Even on the mirror, it says, don't look behind you. So like, you know, spooky, spooky. I think I would have liked this if it was more vibrant. So it does look like a very colorful palette. And I have a lot of the blue shades on my lid today. However, I don't know that it like lives up to the expectation of colorfulness that I want. None of these shadows perform poorly. I think they all perform very well. They're pigmented, but I wouldn't say they're super pigmented, but I wouldn't say they're not pigmented. I think they require some buildup. So I would say that closest equivalent to what I use already is like a Viseart shadow, but I like the way Viseart shadows lay initially better than I like the way these Lethal shadows did. My brain, because I'm not creative, but like I do sometimes just really appreciate like an easy look. So I view this in trios. There's a green trio, so this one, this one, this one. There's a blue trio, which is on my lid today, with a little superpower, a little extra something something on the lids. But I have Predator, Watery Grave, and Spellbound, and so that's all the blue shades in it. And then there's the burgundy shades. So that's how I view this palette. Anytime I've done a look with it, I kind of have used the trios. I've not really mixed and matched because I don't know that these are colors that I would want to mix and match. Now, I think I've seen a lot of people do some very beautiful, cool, inspired looks with this, but unfortunately for me, this palette does not inspire me to kind of do that. Like this color story just really isn't for me. Another thing that I really don't care for, and obviously when I'm saying this, I'm not saying this is like not Theresa's doing, and also I'm not even saying that I don't like Lethal's formula. So it's not that I'm like disappointed. It's just that something that I wish I would have tried Lethal Cosmetics in a more true way to me than this, because I could have easily built my own palette with Lethal and bought some shades that I would have wanted together. So that's something that I could have done instead of buying this. And I also could support Theresa by supporting her Patreon, which I have done before. So this is like not, well, this is like a very cool thing that happened, which I'm like very proud of Theresa for getting the opportunity to do this. And I think that Lethal collaborating with Theresa is very cool, because Theresa, grand scheme, a smaller creator, but not, you know, not a tiny creator either. So to see her get the opportunity is like very cool. The deep shades are not that deep. So that blue is like on my outer corner, which like, I guess on camera it looks pretty good. But this burgundy, I thought was going to be like very deep, and it just isn't deep enough. I feel like we are mostly existing in mid-tones. And I have seen, you know, deeper skin creators really enjoying this palette too. So that's great. So I think it is like, I think it is a nice, it's like pastels. It is mostly a pastel palette. Another thing that I don't care for is the shimmers. While they're not bad, I do think they're very pretty. I am very into like a textured, overdone. I like the most. I like, you know, I put glitter on my eyelids over top of the shade because I was just like, it's just not doing it for me. I like something that has texture, shift, and these shades just aren't that. Now, I believe that this one is considered a duochrome, but I might be wrong about that. I don't want to lie. I'm just speaking how I feel. So overall, while I'm not sad that I bought this, it's not something that I would buy again. Now, I did recently watch a couple videos. I think Lethal is doing a little bit of like a PR move with some smaller creators. So Lauren May Beauty just did her palette week, and she talked about Lethal, and she did her build her own palette. And she did say that some of the shimmer shades, she's also very into like PC textured, flaky sparkle. And she did say that some of the shades that she purchased did have that sparkle. So I think that would be the experience I would rather have gone down when I was trying Lethal for the first time. But again, I'm very proud of Theresa. I think this is so cool that this happened, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. Another thing that I actually really like, a very big pro, is that these are magnetic. You can pop these out, put them... So basically these are going to probably work the best in my collection as singles whenever I'm recreating a palette, or if I'm creating a color story where I want one of these shades in. These would make very pretty, just all matte looks, but I'm not someone who... Do I look like someone who's going to run around with an all matte look on? No, that's not who I am. That just isn't who I am. Anyway, so I just wanted to point that out before I throw it to some swatches, and then how I put this look together, which is not, it is not how I put this look together, because this is a completely different day. I used a different glitter today. Similar vibes. This glitter is actually I think this glitter is a little more sparkly. It is a little more sparkly. So let's go see some swatches. All right, I'm gonna walk you through the look that I did. My favorite look that I've been doing with the Lethal is Dead palette. We are gonna focus on the blues and the periwinkles. So we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna prime my eyes with the Air Atelier eyeshadow or eye primer. Okay, I'm gonna set the base with the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I like to set, on this channel, we set our eyeshadow base. That's my journey. It's not necessarily the correct way, but it is my way. And you know what they say, when you're in my space, my way or the highway. But when you're also in my space, you're in my top 8. Oh, well, my demographic, which I like looked at recently, is all, my demographic is 25 to 40. Hi, I love that. Let's keep it that way. Youths, stay off my page. So we're gonna go into the shade Watery Grave, and we are just gonna, I'm gonna do some, it's like not a complex look. Okay. And we're just gonna put that on the, put it on the eyeball. Eyelids, not your eyeball. Lids. I misspoke. So this is like one thing about the Lethal formula is like, I do feel like you have to build it up. It's definitely there though. It's just, I think that these are, since they are kind of pastels, they just like, they need a little more zhuzh. All right, and then I'm gonna go in with something a little bit smaller and a little more structured brush-wise. I'm gonna use the Wayne Goss 19, but this is it looks like this. And it's dirty. We serve realism. Realism. You know what? That's gonna be something that they'll put in my Wikipedia page. hautemesstom, believer in realism. We're gonna focus that on the outer corner for the most part, and then just bring up some excess into the crease. But I don't want it that dark in the crease because it doesn't really matter because we're gonna like kind of cover that up anyway. Like I said, this is like a very, like, this is not a complex look, y'all. But ever since I got asked once to do a tutorial of the eye look, especially when I'm talking about a specific palette, I would just figure it's probably worthwhile to just throw a toot at the end of the video should someone want to see how I did it. But again, this is not a very complex look. That was the shade Predator. I don't know if I said that. That's what we have put in the outer lid. I'm gonna take something a little bit denser, thicker. I'm gonna use the Wayne Goss number 18. It's like flat, but not. And I don't know how else to describe it. And then I'm just gonna take some more Predator and like just pat it right there. I want a little more. A little more is what I'm asking for. So this side's looking a little bit patchy, which I'm not really a fan of, to be quite honest. I don't know that that's ever happened to me, but it's not looking super cute, but it's fine. All right, and then we're gonna take the shade Spellbound, and we're just gonna put that all over the lids with our ring finger. And that's honestly really it. I'm gonna do one more step. If you have it at home, I'm gonna take some glitter. This is Slayfire Cosmetics glitter. I already talked about this in the video, but this particular palette doesn't give me enough oomph on its own. So I gotta add a little oomph. But this particular glitter with these shadows really does it for me. Really takes me to the place I want to be at with this palette. Like, this is really, really it. I'm just trying to find a spoolie. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm gonna finish my face and just send you the outro, but that's how I did today's eye look. I appreciate you so much for watching this video. If you are new here, I would love to have you subscribe and like this video. You know, it helps me, it helps you if you want to see more of me. I also, if you like my voice and want to vibe to that just a little bit more, I have 3 podcasts that I appear on. There's a link tree down in my description box below. If you click on that, it will also take you to my IG podcasts, and I think that's like all I really do is like podcasts and the IG. If you want to see more of me, but it's going to be a lot of whatever look you see on camera is also going to be on my Instagram, but I would appreciate having you around nonetheless. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Friends. Ha!